Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the only podcast produced by three two-time winners of IMSA's Spirit of the Race Award. This is the Check Engine Podcast. We're streaming through Anchor.fm and anywhere else that streams engaging, exciting content out there on the interwebs. My name's Nick. My two co-hosts, Andrew and Tristan, are here as well. We're back, and we need to start by making an apology. We probably should do this more often.
Apologize?
Apologize right off the bat. But we really need to after our last episode.
That's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
We're stupid, is what happened. We're very dumb. We set our whole thing up like we have been doing for the past couple weeks since we got this new equipment. And no one bothered to check whether the mixer was plugged into the computer. And once we discovered it, we were all so humiliated that we didn't think to plug it in and then continue the rest of the episode with the good audio.
We figured that would be too jarring for all of you nice people out there. We'll just leave it the way it is.
It never even crossed my mind. I was devastated. Completely.
He wanted to just be done.
I wanted to die.
Yeah, you wanted to kick everybody out of the house. You wanted to stop recording immediately.
Oh, God. That was awful.
And we were so hurt and taken aback by all of this that instead of getting back on the horse and recording, we decided we needed a weekend away.
We need a vacation.
We did do that. We took a family vacay.
A CEP family vacay. Hosts, all the significant others.
It was amazing. Well, we can get more into that.
We'll get into it later, but yeah.
It was awesome.
It was great. But it is great to be back. We've got a little bit different episode tonight. We've done this before where it's open forum with news stories and whatnot, but usually we have them prepared beforehand. We go out and we do research during the week and find articles we want to present. But we figured that live reaction videos have been, all the rage on YouTube and stuff like that. So we're going to make this like a live reaction podcast. We're going to do open forum, but we're just going to scroll through our news feeds on the air and just start picking out articles and getting everyone's instant reactions to it.
And there's no better time for it because just as we decided that this was going to be our format for this week, every single thing happened.
Yep.
Everything happened.
All of it.
So
all of the things.
I mean, we'll have no shortage of content. First thing I want to start out with is just to say rest in peace to Deadspin. Voices like ours and this podcast would not exist without their pioneering coverage of everything surrounding what they were supposed to cover. Really, when you come right down to it, no one was better at covering sports through the lens of non-sports than Deadspin. And if you haven't heard, they were essentially killed by their corporate overlords because they told the writing staff, the overlords, told the staff at Deadspin to stick to sports, and they said no. And then they fired the editor-in-chief, and everybody quit.
Wow.
And that just happened in the past 2 days.
Wow.
That was because of their editor-in-chief got fired, and they all were like, nope, we're with him. We're out of here.
Yep, exactly. But really, when it comes right down to it, that voice was so important. Deadspin's voice and the way they covered sports was so important for me and for a lot of people like us simply because they just did first what they liked.
Yes.
And worried about how it connected to a narrative of sports later. And that's what's appealing.
Or even as bad as it sounds to say, even how it connected to their audience.
Yeah.
And because some people found stuff on there that they loved and some people didn't from week to week, and they didn't care. They wrote what they wanted to write about, and that drew in enough people that it was very popular. So.
Yeah, exactly. So,
hopefully that method will work for us eventually.
Well, yeah. I like to think that it will.
We're just going to talk about what we want to talk about.
Well, what you got to remember is that we've had all this time to do retrospectives of the Deadspin as it was. I imagine that brand name will continue under a zombie sort of format, but Deadspin started as just a fan blog.
Yep.
And then it built from there, and Dana Moskovitz, who is the last named editor-in-chief, today named as her last act, as she left the building, named their original founder, Dave McKenna, editor-in-chief, as he left years ago, but named him editor-in-chief as she walked out the door. So that is their current masthead, Dave McKenna, the guy who founded it and left many years ago, but kind of full circle there. And yeah, it's sad for me personally, just because that was important.
It's sad for, I mean, it's sad on multiple different levels. It's sad for sports fans who enjoyed the content, and it's also sad for people like yourself who respected respected what they stood for.
I learned a lot,
especially you as an English major.
Right,
writing is so important.
And
to
that Deadspin has had an explosive rise to prominence with the Teo story, Manti Te'o story. When I was in my first year of my master's program.
I wonder how his girlfriend's doing.
Lene?
Yeah.
Lene Kyuka?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my fantasy football team name. Lene's Kyuka.
Don't make it possessive. Oh my God.
You know that I had to. Anyways, yeah, they were super important. Rest in peace to Deadspin. Best of luck to everyone who has worked there, was working there.
And best of luck to anybody who might work there in the future.
Yeah.
Because they had one new hire, and he quit after like a day because he got eviscerated on Twitter.
Well, the thing is, not only that, they whoever this is, they're Grant Hill, I think is the name of the company that now owns the company that owns the company, whatever it is, who cares? They turned off the comments on Deadspin because they were getting so savagely, I don't know, raked over the coals. What's above that? Thrown into a volcano?
Yeah.
And then that volcano gets thrown to the sun. They also did this other thing where they, by default, found a setting in Kinja, that's the overarching commenting system, to disable comments on anyone who hyperlinks in or out of the site. But they couldn't make it a non-beta feature, so every user can turn it off. It's the weirdest thing. You probably saw some really weird tweets coming from our Twitter account if you follow us at CheckEnginePod. I tweeted at all the verts that I could see the beta feature. It said, experiments enabled at the top of every blog page.
Oh, wow.
And it showed the Kinja line edits that they enabled for every user by default that were blocking comments on hyperlinking in and out. Slimy.
Damn.
Slimy shit. Anyways.
Anywho.
Here we go.
What?
First episode like this. So I have the first circle back of the night. This relates to cars because it does, actually.
Let's bring it back in.
Yeah, I'll bring it all around right here. One of the blogs that sprung from or became connected to, I don't know the history, of Deadspin is Jalopnik. Super popular car blog.
We follow them very closely.
We do. And in the interest of confirming a suspicion that I had,
okay,
one of the things that I very much don't like about that site is that I find that they occasionally use other people's content. I need to be careful how I word this. I don't mean to imply that Jalopnik steals anybody's content because they very simply don't. They don't steal content.
No.
But what they do, and what bothers me just a little bit, is they will take content that is submitted to them in most cases, or that they found and asked permission to link on their site, as promo run for Jalopnik. And what I mean by that is they will take videos, they will take Instagram posts, blah, 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 do short little write-ups, and then post them on their main page, which is totally cool and super helpful for little podcasts like ours, for little fan accounts, for almost anyone who would want them to link an article. The place where it bothers me is that often, especially when it comes to videos, the writers at Jalopnik will do such a good write-up that they don't pass the traffic onward.
Yeah, it stops there.
And it is not in every case. I would actually bet that happens in a minority, probably a significant minority of the cases, because oftentimes the channels that they promote, Jalopnik promotes, are so much smaller than they are. So, for example, if our blog or our podcast were to somehow appear on Jalopnik, we would see an unheralded influx of subs. We would see more than we could ever possibly imagine, could ever hope for on our own.
So help us out, Jalopnik.
Right? Actually, I got one of my previous Kinja accounts blocked on Jalopnik by Patrick George himself because I brought this up in relation to a video that he posted about how to take pictures of cars. The article was so expansive and took screenshots from the video and blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, I don't think any of this traffic's going forward. So I checked out that video, Social Blade. It was a YouTube video. So I could see the video, see the trends. Not only was that not the spike in popularity of the video, it was down in terms of their overall trending just on YouTube alone. So that led me to the point where we're at now. What I did for the entire month of October is count every single article they posted on Jalopnik for the whole month. And I have the total numbers here.
Wow.
I broke it down into 3 categories. The first is original content.
Okay.
Anything they create, any news stories they write about, anything that doesn't singularly rely on another person's content or varying other types of crowdsourced content to create the main theme. I then had repost articles, which would be videos or anything that was specifically centered around or linked to someone else's content.
Okay.
And a third would be repeat features. So anything like daily this, weekly motorsports roundup, that's repeat features. The same thing basically every week. So by and large, the content on Jalopnik is original. 373 posts this month alone of original content, which is super impressive. That's huge output.
Big numbers.
120 were what I considered reposts. So content that was promo for other people. And then 105 repeat features. I don't have any specific conclusions from this. I mean, what I did learn looking at the articles every day, and I clicked into every article, scrolled through it, at least read some of it just to make sure that I understood the content of what was in there. One of the Jalopnik writers' name is Jason Torchinsky. He does a lot of stuff for them, and after this month, he does almost all of the entire lifting of that site. Almost all of this original content, the truly original Jalopnik content, comes from him.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's not my guy. I don't get his thing, really, which is cool because there have to be other voices out there. I love it. But the amount of work that he puts in at that site is super incredible. I wouldn't be surprised if 200 out of those 373 articles were his specifically.
That's crazy.
Super crazy. I mean, if nothing else, it was interesting just to see the numbers because I was curious to find out how many of those repost articles Jalopnik did in a month. And of course, 1 month isn't exhaustive. You know, all those things that could possibly
not
be
a big enough
stipulations
sample
apply.
size, Andrew.
Of
Keep
course.
digging.
Of course, not a big enough
all the
sample size.
caveats.
And if Kinja had a better way to browse back, then I would, because obviously this is probably even a lower article total than we would have normally seen, because for the past week, all of those Gizmodo media blogs have been in massive influx, at the very minimum for this past week, probably longer. But yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say. They do most of their own work. I probably should back off them, even though it really bothers me when they do sort of repost those articles. And that's it.
300, over 10 a day.
They blast out the content.
That's crazy.
And the thing is, whether it's your cup of tea or not, most of it is good.
True.
Yeah, I would say. But the fair majority of it, whether it's interesting to you or you think it's true or whatever else, is really be pretty well written and interesting to, based on the comment section, thousands and thousands of comments on every article every day.
Yeah.
Interesting to a fair number of people. It's a high standard to maintain.
For
So
sure.
It's interesting to watch.
The other major disclaimer, this count of mine does not include any of their fully in-house produced video segments, which probably would have been another, at least 30 original content, maybe even as many as 50. Some are reposts, but that would account anyway. Anyways, the video wasn't the focus, so that's why I didn't include it.
My takeaway there is we've got to get on our horse. We've got a lot of catching up to do.
Write 373. We couldn't write 373 pieces of anything in a month.
No, probably not.
Not even pieces of drivel.
Yeah, exactly.
I've had my blog in your inbox for a week and a half. I haven't seen
That's
it.
kind of my fault at this point.
Oh, man. So you had said you wanted to debut a new segment.
I do.
And I am all for it because it means we have a new sound effect.
It's true. Our new segment is called
I Want to Die.
And today in I Want to Die news,
I want to die.
something that I actually said to myself upon reading this quote, Have you guys heard of a car company called Nissan? Nissan?
Nissan.
Nissan.
Nissan, that's a brake company.
It probably is.
It is.
Actually, it is.
Nissin. Yeah.
So Nissan, you guys probably remember them.
R.I.P. in peace.
Yeah, exactly. Their sales numbers are hilarious. But anyways,
down 90-some%.
They've been so scattered by this whole entire saga of Gosen and Saikawa and embezzling and not being able to sell and having everything on their lot being 10 or more years older.
The countersuit from Gosen.
Remember what this is.
I want to die.
All right, so Nissan Senior Vice Presidents for Global Design, Alfonso Albaiza,
We'll take
I think
it.
what it is. He told Automotive News Europe something very interesting. He said, "The sedan is the middle finger of the future. It's the tattoo of the future. In his view, young people are bored with SUVs, making them more open to owning a sedan.
Bruh.
I want to die.
I want to die."
That's just not true.
It's not true.
It's not even close.
File this under the very Britishism, patently untrue.
In order to buy this, you would have to buy the line that sedans have died.
And been resurrected as the one true king of rebellion.
No, and will be, not yet.
Right.
And will be
Yeah.
resurrected specifically by Nissan as the global middle finger.
No, and also no.
None of those things are true. My main issue with this is that all right, so this actually weirdly coincides with the fact that Nissan's been sending a 370Z test mule around the Nürburgring.
Oh, great.
And there's some excitement on Twitter about this. My response to it was,
Why?
excitement for what?
Why?
Yeah, warmed over behind the curve. It just, everything, every car Nissan has put out lately is okay at the high end and terrible at the low end. Their last Sentra was garbage. Throw it away. Don't show it to me anymore, ever.
Some of the design of the Maxima and the Ultima,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Extremely valid.
Looking at it
and then
parked on the
mechanically-
street is fine.
And then mechanically, just woeful. And
Hopeless.
It's just, it hurts.
That's why they can sell them for so cheap and move the used to move the volume.
I was like,
What
what
volume? I caught myself. I said used to. Back off.
The whole problem is even the GTR, right? Okay, not a sedan, quote unquote. Even their car of cars, and in many cases, the car of cars when it comes to enthusiasts, it's hard to give a shit about it
Anymore.
anymore.
right.
Exactly.
That's the
Because they
problem.
haven't done anything with it in
15
12
years.
years.
And
Yeah.
you could say that sentence to everything in Nissan's armory right now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's the problem.
1,000%.
I still have a not so secret love affair with the Godzilla. I would love one. But I totally agree that
No one's turning it down.
Yeah.
It's just that
Would I have one? Yes.
It's just that the impressiveness of that car has diminished so significantly from when it was initially brought out. I mean, it was $100,000 for a car that you could legitimately drive through 4 seasons, and you could also legitimately humiliate any supercar and most hypercars that you parked up next
At the
to
time.
anywhere in the world.
yes,
That was the reality of that car
when it was launched.
when it was launched.
Yes.
Now it's still very fast. It's still very impressive.
The launch control is still, I would, besides maybe a Tesla, like second to none, like off the line.
Remember, the Taycan's faster.
Well, whatever.
We got to change our point of reference now.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a separate issue. But it is still impressive. It's just a lowercase I now. Because time.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything.
Right.
So, no, Nissan, I will not hear this from you, nor will I listen to it coming from you. Put something on the road that isn't shit, and then we can talk about it. And the Sentra was shit. That's it.
End of segment.
Yeah.
End of his part of the segment.
I want to die.
So do I.
Because
This one, I'll admit, was
Guys, don't follow through with this, by the way. I can't carry this thing by myself.
I want to. I'm
No,
not
no,
gonna.
it's not a threat.
I'm not that entertaining on my own.
It's not a
makes
threat.
me
I
want to.
want to.
Yeah, not I'm going to kill myself. I want to die, but I won't. Okay. So and this one I have to admit was a little bit of pre-work, but
You cheated.
I saw it literally at dinner.
Okay.
And when you mentioned the I want to die, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. So I am a huge fan of Jeeps. I'm a huge fan of the movie Gladiator.
Okay. No. Where's this going? I'm scared.
Well, Jeep Gladiator.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm also, most of us, I would say, are fans of big horsepower. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Russell Crowe.
I mean, most that too. Ruggedly
he's all
handsome.
Eh.
But Top Gear has put together a simply unbelievable, and I will not stand for it, article about a little product that Hennessy has put together.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
The 1,000 brake horsepower Maximus Jeep Gladiator.
Maximus.
Which, okay, sure. Even on Hennessy's part, that name makes sense.
But why not Spartacus?
Because Maximus is the most. That's why. It literally means the most.
Yeah, but he was the most gladiator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally his name.
Okay.
But literally, this whole thing is just gladiator quotes.
Oh, God.
Like, are you not entertained by 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.9 seconds?
I want to die.
Is this not why you are here?
I won't do it every time.
Hennessy will win the crowd. He will give them something they have never seen before. Yes, folks, meet the new commander of the armies of the North, the general of the Felix legions, loyal servant to the true emperor, outrageous speed.
I want to die.
Comes this Hellcat engine nut job. Like,
Does it
it's,
say anything about a field of wheat?
I mean, I didn't even get that far. So, and the crazy thing is, there were only 24 of these will be built. They will cost $225,000.
Holy crap.
Before you include actually purchasing
There
a
it
Jeep
is.
Gladiator.
There it is.
Oh, it's $225 for the upgrade.
And then this is the sales pitch. What other vehicle can climb to the top of Aspen Mountain with a KTM dirt bike in the back in the morning and then run 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds at the drag strip that afternoon? It's like,
I don't know.
who cares?
Yeah.
I
Two
mean,
things that are completely mutually exclusive.
like, and it will, but no one's interested in doing those same two things.
Right.
Like, if you had
If I'm climbing to the top,
I'm doing my dirt bike all day long. I'm
Yeah,
not
and-
taking it to the, like,
Well, yeah.
it's, yeah. The
Awful.
article is unforgivable, and so is the product, frankly. I want to die.
Oh, shit. Speaking of... Hold on. We'll end the segment first.
I want to die.
Anyone else got news that makes them want to die?
no.
All right.
Sorry, something that
I'm
doesn't
not that
make
kind
them
of
wanna
person.
die.
I don't think that way. I'm never going to be able to participate in this segment.
One day you will find an item, and then you will know that you're
No,
paying.
the thing is, it makes him really mad, but he doesn't jump right to the very funny thought of death instead.
Very funny thought of death. I don't disagree. Great news, or interesting news anyway. I've crossed an interesting boundary where now I think I've seen the rarest
Tell me
car that I may ever see in my life.
So this is neat car news.
Oh, yeah.
The neatest
Of
car
a sort,
news.
Of a sort. Well, at least I think I did. I'm almost positive that on my way home from work today, I saw an S209. Because it was the, what's the blue? Whatever it is, blue pearl.
Yeah.
With the gray wheels.
Yep.
And it had the body effects, and it had the spoiler, and it had everything else.
It was either that or a good replica.
It was either a pristine replica.
because Subi Speed already sells all those parts.
See, that was the other thing. That was the other thing. It's either a pristine replica with rally armors.
Yes.
Or,
Technically, no WRX is pristine without rally armors.
fair point. Or it was an actual one, but I don't know when it launches. I don't know if it could possibly have been a real one.
I'm not sure actually.
I
I'm
don't know either.
out of my depth on that one.
I thought you are a Subaru expert.
And we were talking about the S209 on our family vacation, where that transcends the entire point of the STI WRX family.
Yeah.
Like Okay, it costs how much new? Like 60, 70 grand?
Yeah, like 60. Yeah, I think it's 65 at least.
Yeah.
For that same price, you
Sorry,
can just hop into
63.9,
a much better
63.9.
car.
Yeah, because I love my WRX, and I've even ridden in some of the very nicely appointed STIs with the leather seats and everything else. But
Yeah.
it is not a luxury car. It's harsh.
Yeah,
So-
I can't imagine.
Well,
also,
and-
it is out now, so
Maybe.
Could be.
For that same price, you could get a C8.
for that same price, you basically have your choice
Yeah.
of cars, like used and new. And that's what we were talking about when we were in Door County, is that for that price, you're looking at S5,
I was going to say, what Audi do you want to get?
what
Yeah.
BMW, M3.
I wouldn't have
Ooh, I have
that.
a new story for that as we transition out.
I wouldn't
reminds
have
me.
that over any of those options because, I like the WRX because it hits way above its weight.
Yeah.
Once it is its weight, it doesn't hit as hard as you think.
Right. No, I'm not choosing the
Yeah.
S209 over anything in the 60 range and most stuff in the 50 range.
Yeah.
I think
The WRX is great at 26.8.
definitely. I think you have a really good point there because I think it's tough to choke down that WRX even at 30.
Yeah, even once you get into the premium or limited regular WRXs, even before the STI, and even if you include the STI, there's such a premium on that name,
Yes.
that whole line.
Well, and me, a simple man who would dare to indulge in the pleasures of a trunk opener, has to get the premium or nothing.
Yes, unless you want to use your fob or the button on the dashboard.
Which I don't. That is, have you gone to Subaru forums and looked at the trunk thing?
Not really. I don't want to think about it.
It is the most toxic thing you could ever possibly imagine.
Really?
Someone will come in and be like, so you're telling me that I have to get the top model if I want to be able to open the trunk? And immediately, 50 Subaru fanboys come out of the jungle. Why can't you use your key? Well, what if I'm holding stuff? Well, why can't you use the hand for the key? Well, what if I did holding bags? Like, well, what if it's like, all right, okay. Well, what if you just want to open the fucking trunk the way you're meant to open the fucking trunk because you're standing next to the shit?
What if it's parked in my driveway, I haven't locked it, and I didn't bring the key fob with me, and I want to put something in the trunk?
Go inside.
Get your key, or open the door,
Yeah.
and push the button on the dashboard, then go back to the trunk.
That's what they say. How hard
Yeah.
is that? Very. It's very hard.
Well, it's certainly harder than a $2 switch on the trunk lid would alleviate that issue.
Exactly.
So-
That's what kills me about it. They don't have to wire it
I
in.
wonder
It's
if I
just
could. Wonder if I could wire one in myself.
yeah, it's harder than
Swap
you think.
the whole
it's-
trunk lid.
But see, that's the problem. It's wired directly into the proximity key only. The trunk opener, it was in my blog post, but it is part of the proximity key system only. So unless you can design a latch and you have to do the whole assembly that goes to the bottom of the trunk, you're SOL. Anyways. How did that start? Oh, S209. Yeah,
Yeah,
wouldn't buy one.
Where were we?
S209, and then we were talking about the price, and you mentioned your BMW M5.
Well,
The BMW.
at least M3.
Which,
I would think it's
M3,
5.
yeah.
which I was scrolling through as we were talking here, looking for an article to talk about, and here's one about BMW. And what this sounds like is just a butthurt BMW fanboy. Like he just, he just tore up his BMW sweater and slammed his branded mug on the ground and shattered it, and he's mad.
What happened?
This dude be mad. Here's the title. The newest BMW M model is a fraud. Recently announced BMW M235i Grand Coupe is the newest BMW to wear the M badge, but it hardly deserves it. The name might lead you to believe it's a four-door version of the devilishly quick M2 competition coupe, but it's actually far from it. Some more suitable names, he tries to be clever here, might be M2 Junior Edition or perhaps Diet M2 Grand Coupe. It's based on the same front-wheel drive platform as the new 1 Series, but will be available with all-wheel drive as well in the X-Drive model. Yep, that's right, a BMW M model with front-wheel drive platform, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that's sacrilegious.
Well, you are exaggerating because it's not a religion.
It's not a religion, but that's okay.
BMW is not your god.
It is. Quiet, you.
Blasphemer.
To hell with him.
It'll also have 306 horses, 331 torques.
Nay.
Yes.
I use the word fraud because basically BMW took their 1 Series hatchback and tried to style it as best they could to resemble an M-branded car. The results are abysmal. It's the most awkward-looking BMW made this century.
Wrong.
Jesus.
On the front, has he seen the new Z4?
Right? Right? Also, that car looks great. Counterpoint.
On the front is practically the same front fascia on the 1 Series, but the rear are thin, highly placed taillights that you'd see on other BMW M cars. The outcome is an altogether squished look that no way looks attractive or muscular. The M235's cobbled together design simply doesn't work. Yeah, so this guy be real angry.
Who is this?
It's a gentleman by the name of Grant Cox.
Is this writing for a mag?
Fan-sided is where the article...
Oh,
Well, but obviously.
all right.
I said it was a fanboy.
Well, I know, but there's a difference.
Well, I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that to the man writing this.
The headline caught my attention because it was like, BMW M is a fraud. I'll bite.
So here's the thing about this that he's going to be really mad about. That's actually a mini platform.
What is it for a big mouth?
He's going to be super mad. He's going to die when he finds that out.
He's gonna say what?
I want to die.
Hey, we're
Well, he
back.
does already.
He does already.
Continuing the segment.
For someone else.
No, but I actually really like that car. I think it looks great.
Yes, I do.
I am interested in the performance. I'm interested in all-wheel drive. I like all of it. Grant? Is that his name? Grant?
Yeah.
He needs to calm the fuck down.
Yeah, it just needs it. Just tone it down a bit.
Can we calm down, please?
Just a little bit. Just you're here. I need you to be here.
You're like a 19. I need you at a 3.
Yeah, just back it off a
Serious.
little bit, buddy.
I can't believe what he says about like it's the most like egregious or
The most awkward-looking BMW this century.
because
Also, have you not seen the 1 sedan?
the X4?
X4.
The X4 is atrocious.
The X6? Original X6 was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say? This century?
Yeah.
No. The 2002 is heinous. Everyone you can like the 2002. That car is ass ugly.
Yeah, I don't like the way it looks. I respect it for its kind of initiating the whole idea of a sports sedan, but
Yeah.
that's it. The other one that gets me is the Z Coupe. Back when it was the Z3, Z4,
Yes.
they made a coupe version of that, and it was fun.
But
That they
nasty.
made that because it was X% stiffer without the rag top and lighter because you didn't have the whole roof mechanism and all that stuff. So it was a harder core version of that car, and I think it was great that they did it. It looks awkward. It's
Even
a
the
hard
clown
top.
shoe.
It's a hard top. Yeah, it just looks like a shoe.
Yeah.
It's super awkward looking, and to say that is worse than that, no.
Yeah, no. It's
No.
Nope.
not at all. Well, I meant the actual clown shoe. What is that? The Z4 hatchback thing that they made?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Nasty.
That-
I
and
thought you
that's-
meant that whole series.
Yeah, the M Coupe, the hatchback one.
Yeah.
Of that generation it's a shoe. It's an actual shoe.
Yeah, it's awful.
funny. Talk about funny cars that look like clothing. We saw.
Were we talking about? Well, okay.
I saw the
What were you talking about?
the mini. Talking about the mini platform also. That mini that Top Gear described as like the mini wearing a backwards baseball cap.
Oh, the was that the hard top convertible thing?
Or something. Yeah, and I had never seen one in real life.
They do look like a backwards hat.
And it was funny because I said that in my head, and that's what Jessica said. She's like, it looks like it has a hat on.
Yeah.
And it's because it actually does look like that.
Because I shit you not, that was the design.
Yeah. I don't buy into people advertising stuff like that. And then I saw it, and I was like, wow. Well, damn it, they've gone and done it, haven't they?
Yeah, that's actually what they designed it as.
Yeah.
Which, and weirdly enough, that was also the original Veloster's design.
Really?
Backwards hat. Automakers, y'all got to stop. Well, I think they did stop. I guess is really the
Yeah.
Yeah, they stopped. They already did,
recognized.
except for Mini.
Oh wait, just a quick dip it back into Subaru news. Subaru Motorsports got into the spirit of Halloween, and they got too excited.
Oh,
And they said, show off your Halloween-themed Subaru with a Subaween hashtag.
no.
That doesn't work.
I won't, and I'm scared.
Well, that's the
Would
point,
you
right?
like to see my...
It's Halloween.
I said,
Subaween.
I tweeted back, Spooky Baru is right there. What the fuck are you doing?
Spooky Baru.
Or Spook Baru or something.
Spook Baru.
Spook Baru.
Spook Baru.
Spook Baru.
It's right there. And you went with Subaween. It doesn't even sound natural.
No.
Subaru, get your motorsports people. They don't know what they're doing.
Oh,
That was funny.
I didn't see that at all. And I follow them on most of social media.
Well, that was their the motorsports.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I follow them on most of social media.
Subaween.
Come on. Get real. What? No, go
You
ahead.
got one? I got one too.
Go ahead.
So, the 2020 Chevy Camaro V6 has halted sales. Like, GM has stopped advertising and is stopping selling them
Okay.
for the time being. And it does not have to do with the strike.
What's that
Safety.
to do?
This has to do with General Motors has issued a voluntary stop sale on all 2020 models equipped with the V6 engine. Confirmed the stop sale and says it comes as GM investigates a potential emissions system issue.
Oh, they got caught slipping they got caught cheating.
They got caught slipping. Representative did not comment on what the potential fix in the works is, nor what the specific issue may be. GM authority mentions an evaporative emissions canister that exceeds standards, but Chevy did not confirm it. So,
Exceed standard?
yeah, whatever that means. They need to park any and all 2020 Camaro models while the automaker looks into this potential problem.
So wait,
So if you go to a dealership with a wad of cash right now and say, I want to buy this 2020 V6, they have to say no.
I guess I'm confused about exceed. Exceed standards could mean
If they place the standard as the maximum
Exactly.
amount, like I think that's the way it's got to.
it has to.
It has to be that
So
way.
it pollutes more.
It pollutes
essentially.
more than what their max standard.
Yeah.
The standard is the maximum, I think, in this case. Otherwise, that would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, I mean, potentially could somehow be bad. I don't know. I think we could just all assuming, because Dieselgate, that they pollute more and GM lied. Or at least that's how the government's going to see it.
Yeah,
They lied.
yeah, totally. They lied.
So, in total veer, not at all what we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
We've been
Oh, it
somehow-
doesn't matter.
we've
We're
been
never good at
somehow-
transitions.
Yeah, somehow, keeping things weirdly together, but not anymore. So I was scrolling through the
Here we go.
auto news, and I found something that I kind of laughed at initially, but then was like,
But that was before.
I was like, well, actually, they're not wrong. So, and I think it's one of those things. It's high time that this be the case, kind of thing. So I was reading an article about how dealers, car dealers, not drug dealers,
Yeah.
car dealers they were, I should say, getting absolutely hosed by like third party aftermarket, like quick service places,
Yeah.
like Valvoline, oil change, whatever, because of the stigma around dealers. And
Okay.
like, yeah, and I was like, well, yeah, duh. They don't call them Steelers for nothing.
Wow.
And like,
Yikes.
and so I mean, in my mind, I happened to this time around prepay for a bunch of service as part of my lease, and when you look at it broken down, visit by visit, it's really not that bad. Compared to doing it yourself or taking it to some aftermarket place. I went to go look at what prices they charge just regular people who come in and have their service done.
Dealerships? Or your
Yeah, the one that I go to often. And because they've been making this, the article said that a lot of dealers have been making this move to emphasize the quick service portion of like their maintenance department,
God, I
service
wish my
departments,
Honda dealership would, but
right? And I actually have two very good examples of that, both at the Subaru dealer out in Madison that I go to sometimes after I'm out at work out there, or the one that I bought mine at. Yeah, they all have 4 or 5. The article was referencing places in like California. They've got like 18 of them. And these are Honda and Acura dealers, but Subaru dealers are doing it where they will service any make and model of car.
Yeah.
For like oil changes, tire rotations, that kind of thing.
As well they should.
And the prices are actually not that bad because, and not maybe not necessarily because, but it's obvious now because they're doing it up front.
Yeah.
They're putting big signs out front saying, hey, we'll do your oil change for this much money. And I don't know if that's always been the case that they would do any make or model, but like, you know, I would actually, if I were not doing it myself, just take my car to a Subaru dealer because why not?
Dealerships have the best oil.
Right, and that's the joke. That's the joke. And that was why it was a joke.
Right.
It was because they weren't emphasizing this, but now they'll get it done in 30 minutes or less, just like the oil change place down the street. They're using their OEM branded oil, but it costs the same as the instant oil change place down the way. About the only other way you can do it cheaper, and that only depends on how good materials you're buying, is to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes not even that, because they're buying it barrels at a time.
Actually, super related story. A couple weeks ago, I was due for oil change in my car, blah, blah, blah. Ended up having to work late, totally missed the appointment, said, whatever, we'll just go to Valvoline. Got the Groupon for the half synthetic, because it's my car, it just runs on 5W30. Like, yes, it's a turbo engine, super low boost. Last time I took it to the Honda dealership, I forgot to specify full synthetic, so they put standard oil in it. It's not a big deal. It's not going to break the car. It's not going to ruin the car. So I pull in the Valvoline station, and the guy starts giving me the runaround. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I can't sell you this oil." I'm like, "You can't sell me the oil." I was like, "Nope, this is a special car. It takes European oil." I'm like, "This is a Korean car, and it says right here on the oil fill cap, 5W30 SAE."
Yes.
That's oil. That's just oil. It's oil.
Regular oil.
Just put oil in it.
He's like, well, it's in the system here. It's in the system. You got it. It's same oil as a BMW. I'm like, no, it's
no, it's
which it might be.
Because
That's
the
still
BMW
not
takes 5W30.
European oil.
Exactly.
I mean, so, and that's, mine takes 5W30. Mine takes 0W30 in the summer.
Right.
Because
of course with the turbo, synthetic oil is better for pretty much all engines.
Right. I mean, synthetic oil is the best oil at this point.
Yeah.
And that's what Subaru puts in my car. That's what I would put in my car. It's what I put in the damn Jeep.
Right.
Because it's not that much more expensive than conventional oil now, and it's just that much better for engines. But that brings me back to where I was actually going. Thank you for the transition. Mm-hmm. Is that when you talk about who I would rather have messing around with my car, factory trained technicians, and they will do what the factory specifies, which there's some argument as to what's actually right or whatever, because people will modify these cars, they'll do whatever to them, and that's all fine, it's within specifications, but the dealer's going to do it right. They're certainly not going to void your warranty.
Right.
They're not going to overfill it.
Well, that
they're
was
not
the other
going
thing.
to underfill it.
They're
not going to put the wrong oil in it. All of these things are things that I have had done at these instant oil change places. If it's even $5 more to go to the dealer than it is to go to one of these, I'm going every time, because if I'll either do it myself or I'll take it to the dealer, because I'm not doing these instant oil change places anymore when the dealers have emphasized that this hard.
Yeah, me neither. Because after that little interchange with them, I said, well, the last time I went to the dealership, they put standard oil in here, so the half synthetic is going to be fine. Put it in. And he was like, well, that's what they'll do. They'll just void your warranty. And I was going to lay into the guy about, no, you fucking idiots. That's unbelievably illegal. And even if a dealership were to intentionally void the warranty on the car that they sold me, I'd own the fucking dealership chain.
Yeah. Even if you didn't go after them, they would certainly lose all service business.
Anyways,
it's incredibly bad for them.
So instead, I just said, put the oil in the car, and then got back in my car. I am going to take it back to the dealership because it's turbo. I went mileage over... I went with more changes over delaying it to go get the thing because it was cheap on Groupon just to get the fuck. I just wanted the oil change. Oh my God, this guy. Anyways, that's still a thing is what I wanted to bring to this. Very much exactly what Tristan said is still a thing. No matter where you go, first thing, they're probably going to lie to you. Second thing is, if you take it to one of those third-party shops, those guys are really dumb. They're the OEM rejects.
Yeah. I have never, even when I paid for it, when I had service done at the dealer, they would offer me to do things, some of which were not, I wouldn't even go as far as to say optional. Some of them were recommended and some of them were necessary, and they'd tell me which ones were which.
Yep.
And they wouldn't like hammer you to get the optional ones done.
Yep.
And they're, these instant oil change places, they're going to sell you fuel system cleaner, they're going to sell you light bulbs, they're going to sell you air filters, literally anything they can to make a buck. They're going to do it badly. I had them put, because the Jeep is 10W, and I had them put 5 in. They put 5 in 105 degree heat in Georgia.
Jesus.
That was basically, the oil was running out of the engine. It was like, it was too thin to stay in an engine with design tolerances of that kind.
Oh, they ran oil all the fuck down my engine.
Yeah.
At that Valvoline place.
Well, and like I said, mine even wasn't cleanup. Mine was just, it was leaking out of everywhere because it was too thin to stay in the engine. Like, it was just unbelievable. Like, and they overfilled my Passat to the point where it damaged the transmission.
Jesus.
And they underfilled my A4. And that was, it was fine. I took it home. I always double check. But I took it there, had paid for them to change oil, and I had to add more oil when I got home.
It's crazy.
Because they underfilled the stupid thing. And then, when my mom took her car in, they drained the differential oil instead of the engine oil.
Jesus. Here's a why did you keep going back?
Different places.
Oh.
It was not all the same place.
Oh, okay.
But now, universally, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because it's so many times.
Listeners, you could also change your own oil, too. That's
Right.
also an
That's
option.
true.
Right.
True.
Which is fine. I mean, I do regularly. My WRX is still under the prepaid service. So
I'm not
take it there,
knocking you
but-
guys. I'm just saying,
know.
like, we're talking about go here, or you can pay less, buy your own oil, and do it yourself.
I said less
if you feel like doing
less
it.
most of the time. You practically have to find out on sale now.
True.
Like it's they're so competitive.
The
that-
pressure of people doing their own has significantly reduced the cost. Well, one thing I want to get out there. All of this is not to say that you won't get taken advantage of and the people won't try to take advantage of you no matter what dealership you go to or what store you go to.
Right.
But especially in certain classes of people, we know, the three of us know, and even my wife kind of said this after, if it had just been her in the car, she would have believed him. Because why would she know to look on the oil fill cap to see what oil it requires? Of course, that's logical. It makes sense, but who's going to think about
Yeah,
that in the moment?
it's one of those things where it's logical after you know it.
Right.
Like it's like, oh, that makes total sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, yes, there is always a chance of that, but I feel like the dealers are making profit from this. It's helping their service departments stay profitable. I understand that. But honestly, what they're using it as is a way to get people to come back to the dealerships time and time again and look at new cars. Get like, well, they're, you know what they have for 30 minutes or 60 minutes if you opt for a car wash and a vacuum? Captive customers. You've got a captive audience that your sales guys can work on for 3-4 years. And then when you think about where should I buy a car now, I'm looking for a new. Those guys at the dealership were really nice. Like,
or they got good coffee. Like that.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
little.
little
Yes,
stuff.
any
Yeah.
of that stuff.
I mean, so
It's the mind share.
yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing. So they're less likely to be like, yeah. I mean, it's, let's say, one member of a couple goes to, the dealership and gets their car work done and comes home and tells the other one what they had done. And the other one who's at home, who's the car person, I actually know a couple who the woman went to trade school and is a mechanic, and the husband makes stupid choices all the time. And he comes home and says, look, I had them do this for me, and then gets slapped because what an idiot. How would you let them do that? And then that person who got slapped down for being an idiot is never going to go there again.
Right.
And for, the quick change oil place, they might have lost a customer who's going to do another 5, 6, 10 oil changes over the life of their car. For the dealership, you've lost that mind share. They're never going to buy a car from you.
Right.
Certainly. So
Right.
I think you're going to find it's less likely even at the dealer.
Probably.
So
That reminds me, I need to call and schedule an actual oil change for my car.
The real oil change.
Yeah, I mean, I just really made the choice, and now that my commute's so long, it's like, okay, I have a window here. If I don't get something done, it's going to be 2 months.
Yeah.
And because it is turbo, I was like, yes, just get anything in there.
Mine, I have to have a day off where their service department is open, which is only Saturday.
Yeah.
Or it has to be when I'm out in Madison on Tuesdays because I can go after work.
Yeah.
And it's close enough.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So,
Hey,
some big news hit
Transition.
this week.
Big news.
awkward
So-
transition.
Well, here's the thing. I swear earlier this year, maybe April, in the April to June area, something came out from FCA about PSA
Yes.
being interested in a merger. And PSA said, I don't even know who you're talking about.
But, like Ewan McGregor
Wow.
and the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, they were lying the whole
We're
time.
lying the whole time. PSA and FCA, Fiat Chrysler and Peugeot Citroën.
Citroën.
What is it,
Citroën.
PSA?
Because
Anyways.
it's a public service announcement?
Nope.
Nope.
PSA group. Anyways, these two car groups are going to merge. And when asked about details, they said, yes, there will be some.
We will have some someday.
They're going to merge.
Did they give a timeline?
Yes, in the future.
Not now, but later.
They didn't give a deadline?
There will be details, and they will be forthcoming.
But not yet.
Confirmed.
Cool story, bro.
Like many other currently famous mergers.
Indeed.
Sprint and T-Mobile.
Yeah.
There will be details.
I mean, I was kind of like, I thought I'd be more excited. I thought I would be more excited. I think my issue is that I have absolutely no faith that FCA will consider either rebranding, co-manufacturing, or straight up importing any of the cool Citroens or Renaults. Wait, no,
Nope.
not Renaults.
Nope.
Citroens or
Peugeots.
until it's way too late. We're not going to get anything
or at
cool.
all.
No, or at all. I mean, we're not even likely to see. The bummer about this is we are not even likely to see a cool Dodge or Chrysler car out of this.
You'll
Right.
see it, but you won't be able to have it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or a Fiat or Alpha. Anything. We're not going to see anything.
If they were smart, they'd get working on that right now before they even release the details.
Well, you know the thing
Because there's
is-
so many segments that Dodge or Fiat Chrysler as a manufacturer is not in the United States. that-
Yeah.
like,
Almost all cars.
all the little ones.
Yeah. That reminds me, did you guys see... Okay, so when it comes to car numbers, car sales numbers, there's two sides of the story. The first one is transaction figures, in which everyone says the sky's falling, people aren't buying as many cars. And the
Right.
profit figures, in which everyone is saying, aha, you are wrong. See, we made more money on fewer transactions. Neither of those are sustainable.
Nope.
So something really bad is going to happen. But it's okay because remember, Nissan told us that sedans are the middle fingers, the tattooed middle fingers of the future.
Yeah, nothing to worry about.
Tattooed middle fingers. The story is evolving.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to know that that what's happening right now is absolutely unsustainable. And if you bought a $60,000 SUV on a 10-year loan, you're fucked.
Yeah, I don't think that's untrue. I mean, it's like everything else. It's going to come crashing down. It's like, a wildly inflated housing market or anything else.
And
like
how?
it's all going to...
It's going to be a bubble bursting at some point.
Definitely.
That's why I'm happy I'm leasing my $26,000 car for 3 years and then buying it for way less than that afterwards.
Let me tell you, with
Just to make a smart play.
what was it? With 6 inches of snow and and no one even making a vague attempt to clear the roads between here and Milwaukee the other day, there were points where I was like, man, all-wheel drive would be really nice right now.
now, yeah. I mean, I had my snow tires put on, Wednesday at 6 p.m.
You did?
I barely made it under the wire because my summer tires are like hockey pucks in
for
this
you.
weather. The compound is so hard at 30 degrees, and they have no tread.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving to work on Tuesday when it was like wet and 33 degrees.
Yeah.
I was like all over the place. I was sliding all over the place.
crazy.
It was like, this is unsustainable. I need to put these snow tires on.
I actually got
Front
winter
tail.
wheels and tires for my car.
Nice.
Nice. I got the left rear air sensor on the Colorado is going bad.
Don't worry.
no.
Someone will offer to fix it and never fix it for you.
Right. Well, I just thought, I mean, it happens when it gets colder. The air pressures decrease. And I thought, oh, that one just might have like
Decreased more.
Decreased a little bit more or enough to trip the sensor,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It's no big deal. So it's like, you know, the little diagnostics things run. And it's like, no, that's weird because it's none of the other ones dropped. It's 34, 34, 34, 27. I'm like, that's a little weird. So I get home and I put two different gauges on it. 34. It's fine.
Which is so weird because Chevys are so reliable. It's just weird. They've never tried to kill anybody.
I mean, this would not be the first time, however, a Chevy has reported a spooky electronic malfunction.
Oh, maybe it was just Halloween. Did it stop today?
No.
Oh, huh.
I checked it today.
I tried.
Oh, okay. I just thought maybe might be a celebration of Halloween.
I was thinking Jessica's,
No, we were talking tires, and I just brought that to mind.
Jessica's ghost locks.
Yeah.
Yeah, did we ever talk about that in the podcast?
I don't think we did. So, my fiance's car had...
Oh, listen, that works.
I was saying, that sounds good to hear.
It's cute.
Thanks, guys.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
Had the weirdest issue where the door open sensors are tied into the door latch module, which makes sense, which is also the door lock module, which doesn't make sense. And it's also the fact that they are all 4 or 5, actually, if you include the trunk, are tied together into a resistance-based sensor network. So if one of them, and they're all calibrated to work with each other. So
Probably
if you
also the speed sensor.
So if you replace one, it's very likely you're going to have to replace all of them and the child locks.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, look what else you get. The child locks. So luckily, our very kind local repair shop was happy enough to attempt to replace just one. And they ordered like 5 of them. And they kept putting them in until they found one that would work with the other 4 and then sent the other ones back.
Was it the 5th one they put in?
No, I think it was like the 3rd one. They didn't have to go through all of
pretty
them,
good.
which was good because that would have hurt on labor.
Pretty good ratio.
But so basically, they only had to do the labor of disassembly once, and then just replace the module a bunch of times. So saved us on labor, saved us on a bunch of parts. But like, what a stupid system! That's just not going to work long term.
But doesn't it have to be that way? Because electronic locks, speed sensing locks, the automatic unlocking doors, or she doesn't have proximity sensor, but keyless remote. Doesn't it have to be that way?
Why? What other component in the world on anything is like that?
I was going to say, they're not going to run those redundantly.
No, they're not going to be redundant. But I'm saying if you replace, like, you should build it like, let's say a RAM stick goes bad in your computer. Do you have to replace all of them?
In some instances, yes.
When they all go bad. But if you replace them with the same kind, they just continue to work.
Yes.
It's done with the whole system is a house of cards all linked together, where if one goes down, you have to actually replace all of them. I can understand where none of them then work. They all have to be linked, and they all have to be linked to work,
Yeah.
which I understand. But why they all have to be like fine-tuned and no 2 of them are the same, and you gotta like it's dumb.
I'm wondering if it's related to centralizing and simplifying all the information coming from that, so it just goes into the ECU as one solid input, as opposed to 5 data points. It's just one, a yes
But
or a no.
it's already 5 data points because it can tell you which door is open.
That's a good point.
It's not a single data point. It's
But
dumb.
Well, then it would be 15 as opposed to 5 or
Yeah.
25.
But yeah, it's, other cars don't do it that way. There's a technical bulletin about this one because it's dumb. It doesn't have to be done that way because it's like, oh yeah, those Chevy sedans of that era, the mid 20-teens, 11 through 15 or whatever. Like, oh yeah, when those locks go, sometimes you got to replace all of them. I've never seen anything like that before, says the mechanic. So it really doesn't have to be that way.
What do you want from a Cobalt, huh?
Basically, yeah.
Secret Cobalt.
Secret Cobalt.
Come on.
What
you got?
Oh man, I missed a good one in I Want to Die.
Oh no.
Have you guys heard that what the White House is super interested now is actual, seriously, honest to God communism?
What?
So this is part of the ongoing. President Trump wanted to rename NAFTA, so he called it something dumb. I forget what the acronym is. Anyways, what the White House wants from all auto manufacturers is to be able to dictate, specifically with direct control, where cars are made. That's actual communism.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Actual communism.
That's not even socialism. That's
No.
actual communism.
Genuine communism.
Yes.
Fuck off with that.
Production quotas.
That's what automakers
You need to
are
make
dealing
1
with.
million pound of screws. It's either 6 million small screws or 1 giant 1 million pound screw. That's what you'll get.
Exactly. You can't do that, so
Nope.
that's a no.
Hard pass.
Nope. But if for whatever ungodly reason that passes and it does descend into that world, we already have the car picked out. We did that in an
That is
episode
so true.
a long time ago. The Ford Transit, right?
Yes, the Transit Connect.
The Transit Connect. Everyone
Yep.
gets a Transit Connect, and you will like it.
You will.
Actually, you will. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're not a bad car.
They're not a bad car.
No, I just read that and I was like, it's pretty bad.
That's just
For my notes, I'm just going to
ridiculous.
write commies.
Actual
Commies.
communism.
Actual pinkos.
.jpg. Oh my God. We'll be responsible with our platform.
That's funny. That's very appropriate.
I forgot about the communism drop. That is by far the highest quality file we have. Pristine 192 kilohertz.
Oh, it's funny. I've heard that Elon Musk is supposedly taking a break from Twitter.
No, he's not.
Nope. Lies.
No, he's not.
what he said.
Because.
When have
Yeah.
you believed anything he said, number one?
Well, wait. When did
I
that
said
happen?
supposedly.
When did that happen? Unless it was today.
Hold on. I don't know how far back I scrolled. Yeah, 9 hours ago.
That could be real.
Okay.
Because he just got into oh shit! It all connects. I know it. I know it. I tried to do Twilight Zone. It really got away from me. Here's what I was gonna say. I was gonna dispute that point because earlier today / yesterday, Top Gear, which is used to be a car show, published an article about the Taycan versus the Model S performance. Mm-hmm. And Elon went in this whole thing about the Taycan won, and handily, because basically the long and short was Top Gear said it's faster, it's better, and it feels incredible to drive. And that was it.
It wins.
So Elon said, these numbers don't look right. And Top Gear said, you know what, Elon, you're correct. Here are the data points that we measured. Obviously, the Model S was slower. If I didn't say that, it was slower than the Porsche. Elon said, these numbers aren't right. Harumph. And Top Gear said, you are right. These numbers are the fastest we've ever measured your car. We measured it slower on the drag race.
Yeah.
They gave the car the benefit of the doubt, used the best numbers they've ever gotten, and it still lost. I think he got real mad. I think he's real mad right now.
So yes, there was a string of tweets 10 hours ago Not sure about good of Twitter. Okay, fine.
Fuck you!
Second, this is even better. You're going to love this one.
I'm ready.
Reddit still seems good.
I want to die.
Fuck Reddit.
Going offline.
I wish you
And
would.
then he changed his profile picture to black.
Elon, go have sex with Grimes. What are you doing? I don't care. No one cares.
So we'll see.
That's not true. All those people on whatever, Clean Electrica or whatever, all those websites that are just Tesla fan blogs, they really care. That
Electrek.
Tesla Roddy.
Yeah,
They
Electrek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff. He is right. There is no...
You've reduced Andrew to noises.
Twitter is horrible. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to the world. That's not an exaggeration. It is the worst thing by far.
Find us on Twitter at Check Engine Pod.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Reddit is horrible. I hate Reddit so much.
We're not on
I
there.
know you do.
I don't
I
understand.
am personally, but not
I
us.
just don't understand the point. It's Reddit to me seems like a distillation project. How can we find the worst examples of every single imaginable group and then put them together so they can talk?
I don't. So the thing is, I don't use it that way at all. I use it basically as a news aggregator, and then I just don't read the comments.
But I don't want to read news. How do you aggregate reasonable news?
Well, it's
from...
not like news from. It's things I want to read about.
Oh, it's the news of the world.
Yeah.
It's the news of the topics that interest him.
Give me an example.
No, let's not get too far off the fact that we're a car podcast.
But there are car subreddits. r/car.
Yes, I'm sure. No, but I've got r/science, and it's like an article from the actual scientific journal Nature about some interesting thing that happened today. And then you just don't read the comments. Nobody should ever read the comments on the internet ever.
Fine, I don't have a Herrera sound effect.
Uplifting news.
Don't that.
Andrew doesn't want to hear that.
Tech support gore is really funny. I think you'd like that.
Don't tell me about Reddit. Anyways,
r/tech support gore.
Elon Musk, right about Twitter, wrong about Reddit. Go away.
No, and I actually, even though I use Reddit, I don't think he says Reddit seems good. By its very nature, it is at best chaotic neutral. It's not good.
It can't be good.
Yeah.
That many people together on the
Aren't.
internet cannot be.
No,
good.
that's not. That's nothing.
It's not
good
4chan.
Nothing good is going to come of it.
Well, in places it is exactly 4chan.
Well, yeah. It's not 4chan, but it's also, gross.
Well, while we're somewhat sort of still on the topic of electric cars, so we talked about this before, how Tesla, technology company that happened to make cars.
Yes.
And once car companies actually figured out the electric part, Tesla better watch out.
Indeed.
Evidenced by the Taycan.
Evidence one, take it.
Evidence one.
Right. Well,
And here we go. Porsche's not done.
okay.
They're just getting started.
I'm ready.
They have just announced the replacements for the 718 Boxster and the Cayman will be all electric in 2023.
Damn, dude.
Both of them.
Well, I mean,
Twin electric motors, rear all-wheel drive, system total output equivalent to 400 horsepower.
cool.
If it looked good, I'd buy that.
I mean,
How does that look?
I love that.
wait, let me.
Can
see.
I get one of those?
There you go.
What?
Bump ba ba.
All right. I mean, who would have thought that electrification would be the thing that would get Porsche to try?
Right?
R.I.P. and peace, Tesla.
I already liked
Here
the
we
Cayman,
go.
and that's better.
This looks
That
awesome.
does look better.
And for all you Tesla fan people, it doesn't have a grill.
Right.
It doesn't have a faux grill on it. They're going solid on the front.
That's what I don't understand. It's
Faux grills.
yeah, well, and not even faux grills, those places on your dashboard where the knockouts are for switches.
Yeah.
That's what's on the front of the Model 3.
Yeah, it is.
Where
Definitely.
the grill should be cut out and put in, and I didn't need one on this car, so I didn't knock it out. So you got the base model, right? Why even approximate the grill? Why not make a nice streamlined shape?
Because human eyes. I will say that cars without front grills upset me. It's like someone not having a belly button. You'd notice, and then you wouldn't trust them.
Well, that's because that means they were that grown, right?
Exactly. It's like when girls wear the high-waisted jeans or whatever and it covers the belly button. It's like, what are you? Were you grown?
Who are you? What are you?
I don't recognize you as humanoid. I have a question for Nick specifically.
Oh no. Is it about Corvettes?
Oh, shit, it should have been. No. It's about the FIA Motorsport Games GT Cup.
Yeah, it's a new thing.
Motorsport games.
Is that an international motorsport competition?
It's a race, but the teams
That's a motorsport competition.
But games. It says games.
it says games, it's labeled as games, but it's essentially it's a GT3, GT4 and TCR race, but the teams are countries basically. So like a team fields a car, but like it's got a US or Germany paint scheme on it, and both drivers are German or US, like of that nationality.
That is such a brilliant idea that they're half-assing.
It's like it's Car Olympics.
No, it's not. It's just it should be the Car Olympics. Events could be aggressive parallel parking, zipper merging,
Burnout contest,
racing, drag racing,
Pit stop competition,
everything that's cool, drifting, off-road. I would absolutely adore it if FIA had you could even run it in like seasonal stages.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We'd have rally, then we'd have part of the F1 season.
Ice driving.
and then you can
ice driving.
and then you could bring
Ice
in
driver.
different drivers for each. So like it wouldn't be the same two drivers
With
from country
maximum team size.
right. So
Maximum team size for the year. You run races all throughout the calendar year. And so you want like skilled drivers. You
for
want
each skill set. So like you want somebody for rally.
And
so that'd
people who are multidisciplined.
so like
are gonna
Tanner
be a
Faust could
benefit.
do our rally stage.
Montoya would be an invaluable asset there.
Well, because he can do anything. He's a chameleon.
Run anything, yeah. Brazil would just win every year.
Germany's got a lot of really
Germany's
good
got some good-
drivers.
Germany-
Don't forget those Scandinavians.
Yeah, the Raikkonens and the
True.
Bottas's.
Because they
True.
grow up driving rally and then drive
Road.
stuff. It's dangerous.
If it's not rally, it's ice.
Very
Right.
true. Oh,
Second to none
Well,
in car control.
Forget it. The
Coming from
Finns win every year.
I really think you're underestimating the Brazilians, which doesn't seem possible. That seems like such a cool idea, though. I would love for this to somehow be part of a larger, overarching thing. I have no idea how it would be possible, but this seems like such a good idea.
I think you're onto something, but let's remember that this is the first or second year they're doing this. So
I had never heard of it before.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of time. I think it's the second year. So
Would you call it the same thing?
What's it called now? FIA World Motorsport Challenge or something?
the World Motorsport Games?
World Motorsport Games. I actually think that's a decent name,
It's not bad.
but if there aren't games, what's the point?
If it's just racing.
Yeah. Then
it's
it
not
should just be like a
games.
championship.
Yeah.
Then they could just call it like the World Championship or something.
Just that's it. FIA World Championship.
That would be so cool, though.
Or Race of Nations. Ooh, no, that's the sailboat race, isn't it?
I think so.
Damn it.
Just imagine people. I feel like that would be a really good way to get people into lesser known or lesser popular motorsports, because something like drifting, huge in Japan, pretty big in America. I don't know about Europe. I mean, I know there is
Right.
drift culture in Europe, but that's something that's like a truly international driving sport. There must be a 747 6 feet above my house right now.
Say it's landing on your roof.
That is going to come through in the recording. I think that's how loud that is. Anyways, I think that could be such a cool way to showcase not only international driving skill and different aspects of driving, but also really cool tracks from around the world.
Tracks and because it's games, you've got races and feats of skill. You can combine them, and interesting things like the two that jump to mind are the weird stuff that happens in Japan.
Yeah,
Tuge, Dajiban,
all that stuff.
Because those are some really off the wall stuff, and even stuff like
Dajiban.
what like Bia was talking about, the Brazilian stock car racing.
Yes.
Very different from anything we really see here. I think it would if you're following the whole series from beginning to end, you would get exposed to a lot of interesting skills and racing and yeah.
Have one of the rounds at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. All the world's best. Montoya's, the Hamiltons,
Micra.
Nissan Micras.
Yep.
So awesome. That'd be so amazing.
That would be
But wouldn't it be cool just
So
to have all the
badass.
different stuff? Yes, definitely Brazilian supercars. Yes, Aussie supercars. Drifting in Japan around
Touring
Motegi or
cars
whatever.
in general in Europe.
Yes, touring cars and NASCAR,
NASCAR here.
F1.
Everywhere.
yeah, everywhere.
Oh, man. How? I don't even know. It wouldn't be possible. This is obviously... You couldn't even make
Because
it happen.
drivers are too specialized, and if you're going to go year round, it's going to be during their seasons.
But I guess in my mind...
I think it would have to be somewhere between October and February.
Well, I'm just
because-
thinking, just because the way FIA and, the way IMSA counts this race for points here, this other race for points there. GT3 Canada runs in America. GT3 America runs up in Canada for this race only. You know what I mean?
That's just for the Porsche Cup.
I know.
You could make.
I know.
You could make season races count towards this too
There
if
is-
you wanted
there
to.
is a
That's what the
limited precedent.
On a small scale, they do that. The SRO that runs.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
the Intercontinental. It's a big name. It's a mouthful. Intercontinental GT Challenge.
Right.
So Bathurst 12 hours in it. Fuji 10 hour. Their last one this year is going to be in South Africa. The Kielami 9 hour.
Shit, that's dope.
And it's manufacturer points. They use locally sourced teams, but the manufacturers send their factory drivers to go run it.
So there is limited precedent for something on a smaller scale, but of the same scope of what
Yes,
we're talking about.
One a race on each continent.
man.
Their flagship race is the 24 hours of Spa.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be cool.
That'd be an awesome one to go see.
Man, that'd be such a good idea. And then so have those races, and then not even tangential competitions. They'd still be part of the mainstream points total, but they would be occurring at different hours on different continents. So it could be maybe one day it's a F1 race here and a rally race up in Finland or whatever. You know what I mean? But both counting towards the same overall.
Yeah,
So
point
and-
total.
the point structure is the same no matter what.
Exactly.
So you win the Daytona 500 or the Monaco Grand Prix, you get the same amount of points
Yes.
towards this international championship.
Absolutely.
And then you get smaller level stuff like at the F1 races. There's one challenge at
Yes.
and
Yes.
and then you get bonus points for it. It's at the rally one. It's who can
Driver change competition. Just-
mudding.
Yeah, mudding.
Do a mudding one somehow.
Yeah, something
Cross this field.
Yeah, something something that wouldn't necessarily tie directly into the sport you're doing, but would be able to happen at the same venue, even. So
Oh my
so
God. Just demo derbies. Every weekend, demo derbies
Crisscross
for
crash.
bonus points. That'd be such a good one at a NASCAR event. Have that be the support event, an actual professional driver. Obviously, they would never go for that. But professional drivers in a demo derby style thing.
how about a demo derby race?
Yes.
Or if your car breaks and you cannot get often is done on several various car shows full of British men. Where
it's a gauntlet race.
Don't drive at each other. Drive around this track and Rubbins race and go.
And the last one standing wins.
yeah.
But technically, NASCAR does that anyway.
That's what it turns into.
That's what it is on a weekly. Have you seen Daytona or Talladega?
Sometimes it honestly feels like they're just radioing down to the guy in third place, just go right. Just go hard right.
Make a spectacle.
That's happened.
It seems like it sometimes though.
No, that's happened. They've played some radio stuff back where I think who was it? It was on the road course this year. Kyle Busch kind of moved one of the Hendrick cars out of the way. Mm-hmm. And the crew chief for the Hendrick car got on the radio and told his driver, if you two come back around and the 18 isn't in the fence, we're going to have a problem.
Oh my God.
He's telling his driver to wreck somebody else. That's what NASCAR has become.
Jesus.
So
Indulge it, I guess. Go nuts.
as long as we're on the motorsports thing, I've got a couple of stories for you. It doesn't have to be consecutively. We can go around the horn once, but
What are we at for time?
20.
Oh, nice.
yeah, we're all right. So for 2021, did you see that the FIA has instituted a cost cap on Formula One?
I have.
A spending cap? Kind of. That's what
Kind
I want to
of.
bring up, because this article from Forbes makes it seem like it's pretty inconsequential. So, the cost cap starting in 2021, every Formula One team on the grid, the amount of money is still staggering.
Yeah, you're
Right.
only allowed
You are-
$30,000 million.
You're only allowed a maximum of $175 million to be spent on, quote, Formula One activities. However,
Okay.
I did not perform Formula One activities with that lady.
However, this is the first sentence from the Forbes article. Formula One's new budget cap will not curb the majority of its team's costs, according to research, which shows that around $1.8 billion of their annual spending will not be affected by it.
Oh my God.
Because here's what there's no cost cap on. So
R&D. Driver salaries.
you just hit the first two.
Really? Oh, my. I said that as a joke.
So you can't spend more than $175 million on Formula One activities, but it's uncapped on engine development and production, driver pay, travel and accommodations for the 3 highest paid employees,
Driver and 2 CEOs.
2 drivers and CEO,
Engineer.
employee bonuses up to the lower of 20% of total remuneration or $10 million. Marketing, flight and hotel costs, world championship entry fees, super license fees. I mean, if you need to get your license to race, that seems like a Formula One activity.
So what? This is just the tire budget then?
Yeah.
And what they haven't mentioned is aero, chassis, anything like that.
Valid.
Well,
Valid.
hang on, we're still going here. Fees paid to the commercial rights holder or the FIA upon signing an agreement to participate. So you're another way of saying
You
entry
can
fee.
definitely
Yeah.
pay the FIA as much money as you want, says the FIA.
Property costs. Property costs. Heritage activities. Development of alternative fuel. Finance costs. Finance activities, legal activities, corporation tax, financial penalties for breaching the financial regulations. So they can penalize you as much as they want for breaching the regulations.
I have questions about finance cost because.
Paying accountants.
Oh, okay. That's not just. It seemed like they were trying to phrase expenses.
Foreign exchange gains, human resources, social security, employee termination costs during the transition period, and last but not least, non-F1 activities.
You know what doesn't count against your F1 activities budget? Non-F1
The
activities.
fuck is that, FIA?
Oh, this chassis development, it's a non-F1 activity.
Yeah, I'm doing this for fun.
Okay.
Well,
Wait,
look,
bear with me here.
Even if you're doing something that is cost cap, you could just one keystroke puts it in a different bucket.
But here's what I'm thinking, though.
So
Genuinely, I predict that some team, Mercedes, will prototype a chassis all the way through as far as possible as non-F1 development. Because you can just switch that and be like, oh, you know what? Maybe.
Well,
Maybe it
we
could
already
be.
developed this chassis for WEC. Let's just modify it for F1.
Yeah, but who knew?
how much is it going to cost to swap this chassis over? About $12. Yep.
We have this big arrow splitter. For some reason, it was in truck development. No one can say why, but this might work for the F1 team.
Yeah, there's this.
Maybe that's
It's
more
a
Ferrari.
joke. It's a joke of a budget cap.
That might be more Ferrari's jam.
Totally Ferrari's
We
jam.
we have this all new braking system.
We have about the braking system.
Yeah, the Germans, there are rules.
Yeah,
That's true. You must follow them very closely.
it is impossible to break the rules. So yeah,
Ferrari's going to do that for sure.
totally.
For sure.
Totally. So, screw your cost cap, F1, FIA. It's a joke.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do a damn thing.
But at least, is this purely an optics move where like they're trying to fight against like the perceived opulence of F1?
Opulence.
No, it's supposed to be like a regulatory make things equal thing.
Yeah. No.
But guess what? The team on the last row of the grid now that driver's salary is considered a non-F1 activity, you think they're going to pay $50 million a year for Lewis Hamilton? They can't afford that.
Right.
They're spending all their money on F1 activities.
Right.
So
They have their own cost cap. It's called running out of money.
That's nature's cost cap.
So it's a joke. It's not going to do anything.
I
The
almost
new aero regulations and the new chassis rules set and all that stuff is going to do more than the cost cap.
is the F1 season actually over? Well, I mean,
No.
are the races finished?
No.
How many more?
How much longer do we have to live
3?
through this?
They're racing at COTA in Austin this weekend.
Well, hasn't the championship been decided for like 2 weeks now?
Constructors.
But not drivers.
Not drivers. Okay. Bottas can still mathematically catch Lewis.
Okay.
So
Not realistically.
Okay. I know what that means.
if Lewis DNFs 3 times in a row and Bottas wins 3 times in a row,
well, they probably have to win too.
it'll probably be tied.
Well, because Lewis was supposed to win last weekend, like lock it up last weekend, I think, or whenever last time they raced. It might be 2 weeks.
It was last weekend in Mexico. He wasn't supposed to.
Oh no. No, okay.
Like Bottas had to not finish in the points. But Bottas finished 3rd. So
I gotcha. I mean, that's the thing. I, with the best will in the world, at early points in this year, I did try the F1 thing. And then when it just became clear after
week 3 or 4.
4, I was going to say, that this season, as you said, Nick, could only possibly end one way with Lewis Hamilton winning. And again, all credit to him and for Mercedes for being literally untouchable.
The best team, like this era, it's the best in the history of the sport.
Absolutely.
Like better than what Schumacher and Ferrari did
unassailable.
in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even close.
We have two.
Those 2 cars have won like 78% of the races or close to 80% of the races for the last 6 years.
Absolutely fucking insane. There are
nuts.
3 unbelievable dynasties right now. We have Mercedes and Hamilton in F1.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Mario on the Superbike. I mean, he's just going to win until the day he decides that he doesn't want to win anymore.
Right. Once he decides he's done, that's when it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valentino?
Yeah. Valentino,
Yeah.
yeah. He's untouchable and yeah, he's just one day he's going to quit and it'll be the biggest loss in the sports history. And then of course the Patriots in football.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that dynasties are boring. It's hard for me to get into F1 partially because F1 is really boring, but also because it's hard to be interested in a championship when there's no thrill, there's no.
That was what I put in the one of my
Absolutely.
more recent blogs. Like, what makes
Yeah.
a good race? It's the uncertainty. It's like when you punch your ticket, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
And yet the difference between watching Rossi and watching Hamilton is that superbikes they're fickle. It's
Yes.
winning and losing is often determined by the fact that you're eating a face full of gravel.
Right. It's either you win or your bike doesn't finish.
And the presentation of F1, the entire tip to tail, clinical, studied.
it's engineered.
Yeah, and you just know there's no fun in it. Like Rossi isn't winning because his bike is 15% better than the person in 3rd place. He's winning because he's just a really good motorcycle rider.
Right.
And it's not that Hamilton.
I was going to say, that's
isn't
not to
the
detract
driver.
from the guys who make it to Formula One are fucking good.
And Hamilton's better.
The fucking best.
He's better than most of the drivers on the grid. It's just that we see now the difference that technological innovation makes. We know, I think we can say almost without a shadow of a doubt, Vettel is as good as Hamilton. If you put them in the exact same car, head to head, on a track,
in a vacuum, all other things being equal,
Right.
it's going to be really close.
they're going to be almost exactly the same on times. That's just the level of skill. And Bottas as well, I'm sure, and probably like 5 other drivers that I'm undervaluing at this very moment.
I mean, yeah, you can probably throw Vettel's teammate, the young kid Leclerc, is actually really good.
Yeah.
Daniel Ricciardo, Verstappen.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like
we could
there's
say
there's like the 6-ish drivers for those top 3 teams.
Yeah.
They're there for a reason.
And you might see a tenth, 2 tenths. Let's
Right.
say 5 tenths between 6 drivers on a track, all things else being equal.
Right.
But the difference, the monetary difference in F1 just makes it, you don't see that anymore. It disappears completely. And all you see is silver versus red. And most of the time it's just the silver anyway.
Right. Exactly. 2021 performance regulations are set up specifically to help curb that. The cost cap isn't going to do a damn bit of difference.
Right.
So
Only another full season of Mercedes dominance,
Right,
and then we
exactly.
can
So
find the next group.
we're running short. I've got one more quick motorsports one. I don't know if you guys saw this, but over the weekend, like at the latest point in the offseason game possible, IndyCar's most popular driver got fired.
What is happening? I saw that.
Hinchcliffe, like face of Honda, ads in America and Canada, the
And the podcast.
podcast with Hinch and Rossi, like out of a ride.
What happened?
We could do another 20 minutes just on this. I mean, we can talk.
Short version.
Okay. McLaren bought into the team that he drives for. Mm-hmm. McLaren hates Honda for F1 stuff.
Sure.
Hinchcliffe and that team was a Honda team.
As Nick covered in one of his blogs, PS, by the way, the
Yes.
McLaren Honda thing.
So, thank you. So, this IndyCar team switched to Chevy. Well, Hinchcliffe has a contract with Honda.
Yep.
A personal
Specifically.
contract with Honda. So, he can't drive a Chevy car. So, what the initial decision was, look, James, you have 1 year left in your contract. We're going to tell you right now we're not renewing it. This will just be kind of a lame duck year. You can help get this team off the ground, run it, and then we're just going to let you go. He had a ride. Last week, Pato O'Ward got released from his Red Bull driver development deal and became available for an IndyCar seat. So McLaren's like, oh, nope, fuck you, James. After all the other vacant seats have been filled.
Oh, God.
So...
Because I read something on Twitter today that their latest offer to him was to be essentially a brand ambassador to them to pay his contract out.
Well, I guess the one classiest thing, if you want to say it, is if he doesn't find another seat, they're going to pay him for this year. So he could get paid his full salary for 2020 and not turn a lap. They didn't buy him out. They didn't just cut it. Like they're like, look, we're going to pay you unless you find a pay seat somewhere else. Like we're going to honor that part of it. But
Will they honor it if he goes to another series?
Unless he finds another driving job.
Gotcha.
Right. Paid
I
seat
didn't know if it
elsewhere.
was like specific to
And
Indy.
I heard that too. Like he might have to show up and be a
Yeah.
brand ambassador type thing, which is, I think, even more of a slap in the face. I don't know
Yeah,
if I
that's,
accept that
that's
deal.
way shittier.
You can show up and just watch somebody else drive your car that we booted you out of last minute.
So brutal. And also, what fucking motivation for him?
Yeah. He's a pretty class act. He stayed quiet for a few days, and he posted a thing on his Instagram and his socials just saying, the news on Sunday came as just a shock to me as everybody else. We're going to take it how we can. My team is moving full throttle forward, looking to find something for 2020. And he ended it with 2 words: challenge accepted.
I love it.
But the fact of the matter is, it's really late in the game now.
Yeah.
And he was paid to drive. He didn't have, like Honda Canada had a personal, but they don't have enough money backing him to get him to fund him a seat.
Wow.
So his best hope right now, unless he can scramble up a sponsor to wrangle in another $3, $4, $5 million on short notice, the most popular driver will probably be Indy only this year.
That's nuts.
Yep.
I will say this, though. Rich Energy is available for sponsorship opportunities. They will promise you a lot more than $6 million.
What do we have available? Have we checked?
Right?
Yeah, what's in our Patreon?
They never responded to me, by the way, Rich Energy. I wanted them to sponsor the podcast, but I didn't hear back.
It's because it's not a real thing, Andrew. They don't actually exist.
Yeah, but...
And they don't actually have any money.
What difference does that make to us?
I mean, technically, can we just say it?
This podcast.
You know,
sponsored by-
no.
Thank you for tuning into the Check Engine
No,
Podcast.
don't say it. Don't say it. Because then they'll come after us for the money they don't have.
Oh shit! That's a good point.
Smart play. Smart play.
I'm gonna buy some merch though.
Just like the money that they owe that bike shop.
Yeah, right.
We got anything else?
That's-
Or we just want to...
That's it.
All right. Guys, who are we thanking today?
I am thanking the listeners who've had a tough go of it for 2 weeks now. I promise. No, I'm not gonna promise. We will.
We can't promise
No,
anything.
we can't promise anything. But thank you for those who stick around with us. I just looking at our metrics, we get no less than a consistent 30 listens from the same people. Obviously, we can see from the same people every week, and our first week impressions tend to stay in the 30 area. We've seen them this year as high as 60, but really that core group is what's building the rest of this audience, and that only goes up with time. What we're finding is that
As long as we don't fuck it up too much.
right, what we're finding is that at this point we may not be people's first listen, but we are for those 30 to 40 people. So you guys are the ones that are pushing us the hardest forward. So thank you.
There you go. Tristan?
I would like to thank the hardworking men and women at my local Tires Plus. Or I'd be dead,
You would be.
sliding to my doom.
Yeah, we got a lot of snow.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. Here's 6 inches.
6 inches of snow, you assholes.
You mean happy Subaween?
Cut this shit off. Get me out of here.
I haven't made my thank you yet.
You don't get to.
This is a weird one. I would like to thank State Farm. Not because they're sponsoring us.
We're not sponsored by them.
We're not sponsored by them. But they ran a commercial a while ago about a guy named Jake
From State Farm, yeah.
made for the easiest Halloween costume ever.
Ah.
I woke up yesterday. I got dressed for work.
He thought to himself, what are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis. I woke up. I got dressed for work. After work, I put on a tag that said Jake. Mm-hmm. And I got third place in a costume contest.
Did no one else wear a costume? Did only 2 other people wear costumes?
Well, it was my girlfriend and I as a couple, so I was Jake and she was Flo.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a
Couples
theme
contest.
thing.
Couples
But yeah, and as a it wasn't a couples contest, but as a couple we got third.
Gotcha.
So and literally all I had to do was get dressed.
Put a name tag on.
So thank you, State Farm.
But is anyone else deeply concerned about the state of State Farm advertisements now? About just the suit guy going through an actual identity crisis and breakdown as Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes watch on and laugh at him?
I think we're going too deep.
Is
into
that
this right now.
projection?
I mean, not strictly, but in your case, perhaps.
Get us the fuck out of here, man. Let's go.
So thanks to State Farm. And like Andrew said, thank you to the listeners. Despite all our bullshit and the fact that we forget to plug microphones in and all the other stuff,
What do we say? Not professionals.
Yeah.
you're still sticking with us, even if we suck. You're all awesome. So we cannot wait to talk to you again. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
I want to die.